Hello everybody, this is Bernie from Tauranga Wellness Clinic, and today's project is going to be this gorgeous little treat box from the January to June catalogue. Now it is Easter weekend this weekend, so I've been doing a few of these every day to give away, and what you'll see is inside they've got some chockies. And you can also see I've actually lined the inside of the box with chockies. It fits about 8 comfortably, so you can put whatever you want in there. It might fit a marshmallow egg. I just like those little ones because it means that people can snack on them slowly or quickly. So what I've done is I've actually used a combination of papers and a combination of dies. So I've used the background paper, comes from the Sand and Sea suite, which is in the January to June catalogue. I've used Flirty Flamingo, Seaside Spray, which is an in color that is retiring, Pear Pizzazz, and a little bit of Garden Green, and a white ribbon, which has come also as a combination in the January to July catalogue. So we're going to pop this together. We're going to make one of these this afternoon, and and it's got pearlescent paper that's also carrying through, so that's quite cool that's also part of the Sand and Suite. So let's get started. This is really easy, so let's get cracking. So you'll first need one of these boxes. So as I've said, this is the Love You Always treat box from the current January to June catalogue. And when you receive them, it will be in a little flat pack. So you just need to assemble that. It's pretty easy. And you're left with your plain box. So the measurements for the outside paper is 9.5 by 4 inches, and if you want to do an inside trim, you need to cut that at 4 by 2.5. So let's do that now. So 9.5 by 4. I always like to first trim my width, and bearing in mind your width is going to be what you are seeing. So in this box we have the dots running horizontally. If I was to do that, I will not have enough paper to go around, so we're going to change it up a little bit, and I'm going to have the dots running in a different direction. So that's 4 inches wide by 9.5 long. And this is the first time I am recording this video with hopefully what is better light. I had some new lights put into my craft room last week, so it's going to be exciting. So you should have a little piece of cardstock or DSP left that measures approximately 4 by 2.5. So let's have a look. 4 by 2.5. Perfect. So this is pretty easy. You just open up your box. You can glue it or you can just pop it in. Honestly, I just pop it in. No biggie on that one. And so, with a little bit of love, it goes in. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to use my eye to sort of get it in about 1/3 and gently make these crease marks. What you do want to do is just try and get those dots to connect. And I'm going to then place some Stampin' Seal Plus on the edge of the box. Just making sure, yeah. So that's going to go on the outside. That's going to come there. And you do want to line those dots up because as you can see it's a pattern. So it is good to do that. It's just neater. Awesome. So there we go. That's the first step we've done, is we've created the exterior. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, using the Arrange a Wreath and the Wreath Builder die. Now I understand the Wreath Builder die is on the retirement, well, this whole set is on the retirement list for 2021, and I do understand the Wreath Builder die has sold out and there are only stamps left. So I bought this Christmas last year, so if you don't have one, you might want to put a SOS out for somebody in your neighborhood to see if they have. So I'm going to use that set, and I'm going to use that set. So out of the pearlescent paper, I am going to cut from the detailed die that looks like that, and out of the Flirty Flamingo I'm going to cut the die that looks like that. And what I have found is that the best measurement to cut those perfectly is 4 inches by 4 inches, and that goes through the embossing folder perfectly. So that's 4, and we'll go 4 here. So what is everyone doing? Oh, I wonder if that's going to be wide enough. Yes, it's always good to use scraps. I don't like wasting paper. Alright, so let's bring through. Now I'm saving up for my brand new embossing folder, so I still have an old Big Shot. It still does the job. So I'll run through the Big Shot. Of course, if you have a brand new die cut machine, that is super cool. These guys are clunky as. I'm looking forward to getting a new one. That's my treat for this new text here. It's going to need to get a new die cut. Righto. Beautiful. Move that to the side. We are going to use those shortly in a different way. So just move those out the way. Now what I do with my embossing folders, with my dies, is when I get them, I actually cut myself some black cardstock and I create my own little template. The reason I do that is I find, well, first of all, I saw it, was it another demonstrator did it, and I thought that's pretty cool, and it actually makes it a lot easier to see. It's visually easier to see the die cuts on the black, and also it just, when it's in its folder like that, it's just beautiful. It just looks so beautiful. So that's what I've done. I decided to do that. So now I'm just going to pop these out. You can use your pick tool for this if you want, or else you just use your hands. We don't get much of that anymore, but it does remind me of using the bubble wrap. Do you remember the bubble wrap? I had a friend, she's passed away about 3 years now, and she loved bubble wrap. And so when we said goodbye to her at her funeral, she had her 2 boys. She was really young. She was in her late 40s when she passed away, but she had her 2 teenage boys put some bubble wrap under the hearse wheels as her final farewell. So you can just use a sharp tool just to pick these little bits out. Very satisfying to do that. Cool. And if you've got your scraps, just keep them or throw them away as you please. I eyeball the scraps. If they're big enough to save, I will do that and cut little hearts or flowers or leaves out for a future project. The old saying, waste not, want not. Okay, so I'm going to position the pearlescent on like that, and I'm going to have my wreath of Flirty Flamingo on top of it. So I'm going to use my Tombow glue, and I'm just going to dab some, oops, that came out really fast, little dots here and there. I didn't put my glasses on today, and I probably should have. Been helpful. The joys of getting older. You need a set of eyes other than the two on your head. Alright, let's just position that. Oopsie. Just go gently with this. I'm being a bit rough. And then the same with this guy. Now you'll see there's a wreath, you know, the line in the middle, and you want to match that up with the line in the middle there so that they're nice and aligned. I have literally just put teeny tiny dots of all-purpose glue, Tombow. So you're just going to just position it over that line. Okay, very good. Now we're going to start creating a little bit of definition. So we've got the basic structure there, and with this one I used, I'm going to show you the masking technique that I used for that. So we're going to cut out some leaves. I already have a couple of leaves that I had from that project left, so we're going to do some more. So I had 2 of the garden green, and what I'm going to do is, so you can see how I ran it through my die cut, and I used from the wreath builder die, I used the eggs and the leaf. So we're going to use those. Now, this is a technique that I only recently saw on Facebook myself, or YouTube rather actually, and I really like it because it's quite clever. When you're doing multiple projects, you want to make sure that you've actually got a few leaves or a few of anything when you're running them through. So I'm going to run through, I need 2 white ones, so I'm going to see if I can just, oh, look at that, that's close. So I'm going to run through, whoa, maybe not make such a big noise, sorry about that, forgot that it had stuff on it, don't do that. So I'm going to run through the white, and pop that through. I am making a big noise. So it's created 2 for me. And you see how handy it was to have those little scraps? So I can throw that away now. But I also need another green of the dark green. So I'm going to cut myself another dark green, garden green, that's the correct color name, garden green, cut myself one more, and then I need 2 of Pear Pizzazz, which I thought I brought out, so I'm just going to grab some. So we'll do 2 Pear Pizzazz. It's a very warm autumn day here in Tauranga. Started off this morning with multiple cool layers on, and very quickly had to take them off when I went for my weekly Thursday walk with my lovely girlfriend that we walk together. And now I'm really hot. Be interesting to see what the temperature is out there. I love autumn. I love it. It's autumn here in New Zealand at the moment. We live not that far away from a beautiful, beautiful place called McLaren Falls, and it has the most gorgeous deciduous trees. So they of course change colour this time of the year, and they look stunning, 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 stunning. One of my favourite places to visit this time of the year in our little city. So, as you can see, I now have 3 leaves in Pear Pizzazz, and I have cut myself one extra one in the garden green. And I also have my little eggies in Seaside Spray, which is very, very sadly, whoops, burnt my hand on the light, very sadly is not discontinued, but retiring. It was an in colour, but they're no longer carrying on with it. I love Seaside Spray. It's so pretty. So I'm going to miss not seeing it. So if you do want to get some Seaside Spray, I would highly recommend you get onto it, because they may run out. Now I'm looking for my Stamparatus. What did I do with it? So this is a very, very cool technique. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the Stamparatus, and by the way, that does come loose, so don't panic if that happens with you. It's meant to do. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have this mask that we had from cutting out those leaves, and I'm going to position it about down there will do for me. I only need to ink up 1 of garden green because I had 2. So once you've cut it out of your garden green, you then place it back in there. And then, using the Arranger wreath, it has a matching stamp. So these are polymer stamps, so when you use your Stamparatus, you don't need to put the little foam layer on it. They're designed to be used without it. If you've never used a Stamparatus before, you'll see there's a shiny flat side. Hopefully you can pick that up on the light. There's a shiny flat side, and then you've got the actual stamp. So your stamp side you place over where your leaf is, and then you bring your lid down and you press it on so that it picks it up, just like that. Bring it back off, obviously. Put it down, back in its place. And then with the matching ink, I'm going to stamp that little leaf with the garden green. Just cover it nicely. This is also what I love about using the Stamparatus, is that even if you make a big mess like I've done on the side there, it's not going to transfer over. Press down, and voila, you have imprinted. You've got a nice little, can you see that? There we go. Alright, so now we've got 2 garden green. I am going to just spray and clean that quickly, and I'm using stamping mist, because I'm using 2 different colors on the leaves. You could leave it and you'd get a transfer of garden green and your other color, but I don't want to do that. So I'm going to now put the Pear Pizzazz one in. Make sure you close your stamp pad. I had a bit of an accident with my stamp pad. This one actually, I can actually feel it feels a bit wobbly. I run a class on it on the 2nd and the 4th Tuesday of every month here in Tauranga, a Stamp and Eat mini retreat, and I dismembered my Pear Pizzazz ink pad, and it is an older one, so I had to go onto Google to see how to fix it. Yay for Google! So we're slowly getting our little leaves done. Not a cool technique. So this would be a super technique to do if you are making multiple cards. You know, if you're doing wedding invitations or you've got a lot of birthday invitations. Oops. Now look at that. You see that didn't come through clearly. So that's not a biggie. I'm just going to re-ink that, and I'm going to go back. If I hadn't had my Stamparatus and if I'd tried to go back on there, I would have made a big boo-boo. Look at that. Beautiful. Right, so that's 3 of the Pear Pizzazz. So I'm now going to close that. So we are now going to do the eggs. Doing the same idea. Same concept, mask. I've got a big piece here of lots of eggs. So it really is just a question of, whoops, these magnets are pretty strong. So I've got, all of them are going to be in, Seaside Spray. So this is a joint stamp. Can you see there? It's joined, it's not separate. So again, we're looking for the sticky flat side to go on up, because that's what's going to adhere here. So you position that over your mask of your egg, come down, lift it up, and you will invariably pick up the paper, and that's okay. That's okay. That is what we want to know, that it's positioned. Seaside Spray, just push it onto the edge, flip and turn. Press down. Whoa, that's not done it properly. Oh, I've made a bit of a boo-boo with this. Let's see if I can do this properly. I can actually see it's, for whatever reason, it's not inking it up properly. Right, let's try that again. That's a bit better. That's not great. I wonder what's going on there. I wonder if I need to actually re-ink it. I'm going to turn these little guys around. I'm actually going to take them, one down and see if that's going to make a difference. Let's just clean this all up. Let's see if that makes a difference. So down, lift, pop back in the mask. I just want to make sure this is really, yep, holding it down. You don't want your paper to buckle. Okay. I think it might have to do with how I didn't have the stamp. That's a bit better. That's better. I'll go with that. I think it was because they were too close to the edge of the Stamparatus and I couldn't get full coverage of the ink on it. Fascinating, eh? These little things that we learn. Right, push. I think I might need to re-ink my Seaside spray after this project. I've used it quite a bit. Like I say, I really like it. I really like it as a colour. But I think I might be running out of colour. And last one. Cool. Very good. So we've done the eggs, we've done the leaves. Let's have a play. Right, we're going to bring my box back. Move the mask out the way. So now it really is a question of having a play as to where you want to have these little guys. So pop that on there. Some of them I used dimensionals. Some of them I just did flat. So what are traditions in your family for Easter? Do you do anything? We are having a lunch tomorrow. I'm marinating a beautiful leg of lamb that I got on special last week. If you would like the recipe, feel free to go onto my website, tarongawellnessclinic.co.nz. Not my website, my Facebook page. And the recipe was there a few weeks ago. World famous marinade recipe. I will be uploading my recipes onto my website page in the next few weeks. That's a brand new venture. I'm getting really bold about doing things like that. Never done something like that before. So yeah, excited about that actually. Stepping out. Okay, so I'm going to start gluing now and putting things in place. So, where are my tweezers? I do like using tweezers because it just makes it easier that I don't get stuff stuck on my fingers. And as I teach the ladies on my Tuesday class, there is no right and wrong place to place these things. That one I made a few weeks ago, and I know for sure it is going to look completely different to today's. Oops, let go. It will, because my stamps are different. I'm in a different frame of mind, so that means that my pressure on my ink is different. So, you know, we just need to remember we are not mass producing things. These are handmade, and that's the beauty of these beautiful handmade gifts that we make. They're handmade. So just be gentle with yourself when you create something. Sometimes you need to fix it, because you know, sometimes it does just look wrong. But yeah, just be gentle. Don't be hard on yourself when you're making homemade gifts, because it's actually only you that knows if you've made a mistake. So anyway, lunch tomorrow. So marinating a lamb with my gorgeous Greek marinade, fresh herbs. I've got fresh thyme, oregano, rosemary from my garden. I grow them in my little veggie pod, and I'll be doing some roast vegetables. I'll be doing some roast carrot. I'll be doing some roast parsnips, beetroots. What else goes in there? Onion. did I say kumara, or sweet potato as we call it in New Zealand. Yeah. So that's going to be cool. Alright, so we've got, see how different that looks already. You know why as well? It's because the dots are facing a different direction. Now, I'm going to make my little Easter sign, which I also remembered I didn't bring. Have I got some scrap paper here? Let me just get that. So when we want to know how wide we need to cut paper is, so I've mounted it on the B block of the clear blocks, and what I like to do, I don't know if you can see, is I put it on the bottom of my grid paper, and this one is 4.5. The cardstock needs to be 4.5 by, or actually not 4.5, sorry, 4 by 2.5. So let's just cut that to size, and that's centimeters, not inches. So that was 4 by 2.5 centimeters. Is that right? Just check that again. Yep, so 4 length. I might just cut the length first. 4 length and 2.5. Okay, so that's the bow. Cut it, and I just use a glue dot. Position it where you want it. See, this one's a little bit skinnier. So you can just tweak it until you get it to look like you want it. That's exactly why I say they never look the same, even though you... There we go. And now I'm just going to fill it with some chockies. So I've got 3 of those. Six, 7, 8, 9. Oh, they're going to get 9. And there we go. All done. An Easter treat box, which is a minimal cost to make. And what you can do is just add a bit of bling, and in that one I put pearls. I might actually do that now. So just pearls. Remember to group them in 3. And voila! There you have an Easter treat box using your Flirty Flamingo paper, Pepperzazz Seaside Spray, and your pearlescent and your white ribbon. And what a gorgeous gift if you're going somewhere for Easter, or you just want to give something to your friends and family. Beautiful little treat gift to show your love for somebody else. Thank you for watching, and please be sure, please go and visit my website, www.tarongawellnessclinic.co.nz. Click on Stampin' Up. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. If you don't have anybody at the moment and you are living in the Tauranga area in New Zealand, feel free to reach out to me. My details are all on my website. I would love to help and support you. Thank you. Have a lovely Easter. Bye.